fuck, it's...
You can swear.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, it's on the internet, dude.
I don't know why I thought...
Is it?
You need that sponsorship money.
This is an MSNBC.
You need those ad revenue.
This is an MSNBC. You can
Gotcha,
swear. It's
gotcha,
okay.
Okay. You're not the... Who's your least favorite casting? Who's your least favorite late night talk show host?
Least James Corden, 1000%.
Is that the fat one?
The English one.
The British fat one. Okay.
James Corden. He's got the
That's the
cardboard.
cool karaoke thing. Though.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. But
I don't watch any of them.
It's not.
So.
It's lame. He's so lame.
Oh God.
I mean, obviously I say that, but if I was somehow offered the late night position, I'd accept it in a heartbeat. But, ooh.
Oh my! Look at the tan lines from one day of soccer. The tan lines are already in.
Should have gone shirtless. Show this lady that the Turkish delight you got cooking up for him.
No. It's not.
It's
not powdered yet.
How do you feel about Turkish delight as your nickname?
As a nickname?
The Turkish delight.
I mean, I think I've only been referred to the Turkish delight as like during middle school. I don't think there was ever a period where I was
stuck with you.
wanting to know. Well, I mean, like jokingly, I'll say like, "Hey, the Turkish delight has been powdered," or like something, something cheesy. I've never really gone with a nickname. Like I've never had it. I don't really name things. I don't name my car. I haven't named my car. Yeah, it's just not a me thing. I don't know. I just
and like you know how you get like too attached to things is by naming them. That's not why I don't do it, but like
you can though.
Yeah, it humanizes it.
Also, the thing about the car is that I think the car is an extension of my own personality.
I definitely think so.
That's why I don't want to name it something else.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Uh-oh. You're getting interrupted.
You know it's not the same as it was. Is that the song that she was... Why am I shouting?
No, it's okay.
Is that the song that she was playing?
What song were you listening to?
The One That Got Away by Katy Perry.
Oh.
The One That Got Away by Katy Perry.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Okay, I don't know why, but I thought it was As It Was.
Absolute
Cameo!
banger.
You're going to make an appearance on this episode.
Oh!
Or you could just join us right now. We can do a panel. You ever had a nickname? Because we talk about Ozone. We don't name our cars or anything. Did your car have a name? You ever done any of that?
It was my dad's for too long. And
Did you name your old car though? The van?
No, I don't. It's never been my thing.
Yeah, me either. We all agreed.
I don't totally get it. Honestly,
It's funny. You know who else is gonna feature on this podcast? Jenna Hadley. You know who's named their car? Jenna Hadley.
We should say.
So we'll get some parody, the opposite side.
Starts with a...
It's Brenda.
No,
it's Brenda.
I didn't know if I want to say it or not.
Oh.
Leak.
Whoops.
Spoiler.
We'll censor.
Yeah. Bleep that out.
So right now, I've moved my things out basically. I'm pretty much moved out of this house. Almost all of my things are gone, other than the things I'm going to take with me in my car. You're in a similar process. You're kind of in a similar process, but you're moving somewhere else in Indy.
Yeah.
How are we feeling? What's the energy like? You're in a different phase than us in a way.
Yeah. I'm just kind of ready.
Ready for what?
Like the next step, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I know there's going to be a lot of like adversity that I'm going to probably go through this next year, but I'm kind of ready
It's because like you're
it's
in like
my senior year.
Yeah, but
it's my senior. I didn't mean
It
to.
is.
Yeah.
No, but it truly is.
It
It truly is. And but you're in just a unique situation where, a somewhat unfortunate situation. We've talked about it a little bit how you're like, the people you were freshmen with have now graduated, so you're like in this weird like middle ground. But you also know exactly what you're doing. You have an internship right now as well, right?
Yeah.
Or you've gotten one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I got a new one. Yeah. Finally, it took a little while, but I think I just have a lot of things lined up now, which I think
that's good.
It kind of helps, like keeping yourself busy and actually having something to do. Like with like the year coming up, and I'm just kind of excited to like see what comes from it. So
how do you feel?
I think new experiences. That's what I'm really looking for.
Speaking of new experiences, you're a camp counselor. If there's any place you're gonna get new experiences, it's a summer camp. How do you feel?
I'll be at a religious one.
Yes.
About like going to camp or
going to camp. Spending 3 months or 2 months with a bunch of kids running around in summer camp near a lake, and then from then decide whatever else. But
I feel good about that portion. I think it will be good for me.
Yeah.
just to kind of get away from the pressure of senior year and everybody being like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what are you doing next? Like, where are you going? And honestly, Ozone, I think you have a leg up going into like, no, I'm serious. Like your senior year, like I think you've given yourself the extra time to actually think about what you want to do versus I'm like, well, I'm done now.
Yeah. That's a good way of looking at it.
You kind of have like you are in this weird middle ground, but that's in some ways advantageous to you.
I'll try to use it to my advantage instead of being like, oh, my friends are leaving. I can't do anything. What am I going to do?
Luckily, you're kind of in like almost like a halfway house.
Yeah.
Not as a drug addict or a criminal, but
no,
you're in between being a student and being a free-flowing adult.
I've been called worse, so I'll take being a crack addict. Don't worry. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. I think like it will be like a little bit alone.
Yeah, lonesome at times.
Yeah.
I mean, you're living in your own apartment,
but
right?
I think which I'm fine with living alone because I kind of just have to focus on myself, and I think that's what I'm gonna use, like especially this summer and this coming up year, is just focusing on things that I like instead of like, focusing on other people around me. In addition
which is so easy to do when you have other people around you.
I just instead of like being associated with like a group or like roommates or like a school or a club that I'm in, it's mainly just gonna be a time where I'm just gonna explore myself.
You're just Ozone. Yeah. You're not a part of this house with the pals. You're Ozone. Yeah,
That's the powder on the Turkish delight.
That you're Ozone?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're your own man, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, aside his nickname should be the Turkish delight because he's Turkish and he's the delight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that.
Fair enough.
Would I have pistachios in it though?
I'm a big fan of pistachios personally. Do you think if Ozone was a Turkish delight that he would have pistachios?
I don't know if I've ever had a pistachio.
What?
Controversy.
And this right now.
I don't know what to tell you. I grew up a picky eater.
With that, you can go eat your meal now.
No. Yeah, only pistachios.
My time on the podcast is done.
You're done.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts
What
though?
about tomatoes? Sorry.
I love tomatoes.
You love tomatoes?
I'm not.
This is the first time I've ever met a picky eater that like likes tomatoes. That's always like the typical like, oh, I hate them. What about pickles?
I love pickles.
Okay, so what don't you like?
Maybe it's more selective than it is picky.
Gotcha.
I was definitely pickier when I was younger.
Yeah.
I think now I'm also vegetarian, so I kind of like.
You have to be like picky within your bounds.
Yeah, I mean.
You don't have everything to technically choose from.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand.
But I mean, yeah.
Would you suggest to the good people of the world to be a vegetarian?
A vegetarian?
A vegetarian.
I really think it's personal preference. For me, it was more of like a diet choice. I never enjoyed meat, but I also never enjoyed eating animals.
Yeah.
But I'm also not one to be like, oh my God, you're an awful human being if you eat meat. Yeah. Like, I think that's just defeats the whole point. Because yes, it's bad to an extent, but also
you gotta live your life.
It's part of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's almost the same viewpoint that I see as like religion. Like everyone has.
I was gonna say, would you be part of the vegetarian religion if there was one? Because it does feel very much like that.
I'm not like saying it as an insult. I'm just saying like
me either.
People have like different belief sets and like different they follow different religions, but you can't like. I don't. Well, people should not be in the position to say like that religion is wrong or what you're following is incorrect. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that sense. Like everyone should just focus on their personal belongings and their personal choices, and yours is being vegetarian.
It is.
Also, like some cultures, like especially for myself, like fish and meat is that's just what my mom cooked all the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like it's kind of hard to get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I was a vegetarian until summer of 2020. So at that point, I'd already been in college for 2 years, and I realized I was just eating meat because that's what my mom made. Yeah. So that's what was on the table.
Okay.
It's funny. You guys ate meat because that's what your parents made. I grew up around the meat that you ate. I had beef calves on my farm.
Oh, okay.
So I was like the beginning of the cycle in a weird way. I don't know.
Yeah. Is that all I've...
Yeah, this is it. This is I think an entertaining conversation.
I feel bad because we ended on like talking about food and she's just like starving next to us. I apologize.
I'm not starving.
Okay.
Any closing thoughts about if you could describe how you're feeling about the next 12 months of your life right now? Yeah, you get 1 to 3 words. What are you going with? One word or a phrase.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Ooh, I like
12 months? That's what we're doing?
Next calendar year.
Oh, God.
I'm saying mine to start it is either nervously or hesitantly excited. Because I don't have anything planned as of right now, but I believe in myself and the people that I've met and what's in front of me and my experience that good things will come.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say, like, could you phrase it as a question?
Yeah, like a Jeopardy.
Sorry. Okay.
I just don't know what to expect.
Yeah. Just going with the flow.
I know the next 3 months, and then after that is just vibes for now.
And that's okay. That's 100% okay.
I'm avoiding my family reunion, so that will save me some stress.
Yes! Score!
Well, I love my family. I do. It's just... the only questions I'm going to get is, what are you doing after school now that you graduated? Do you have a boyfriend? I got mistaken for a mom today, watching the kids' soccer practice that I nanny.
I got called a high schooler.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what's worse.
No, I'm 22. I want to look 22. I don't really want to be like.
Yeah, you're not. We're not
quite.
We're not at the age yet where like being called younger is a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to look like I have a mom, a child.
No, yeah, I understand. But that could also be like, oh, she has experience. Like she's a well put together woman.
Mind you, it's also only men who mistake me for having a kid. So I'm like, okay. All right.
Mine was also a half naked dude too.
Oh no! See,
you had a half naked man
passing
judgment on you.
Dangerous territory there.
So I was playing soccer.
Once again, what's worse?
Yeah. So I was just playing soccer, like I told you, in Selleck, and then. So he was just like going up and down the bleachers, and then he would just like stop and like stare at me playing soccer.
Oh God, we're having a 4-person having a 4-person panel. Come on down.
Okay, Aaron.
So that is all for this segment. Sophie's going to go eat.
Yeah.
Before you go, you give us your like 3 words.
Do it so you don't regret it.
Ooh. All right. Well, that's great. So for that, we're gonna end this segment here. We're now going to be rejoined by a different panel. See you in a bit.
Bye.
So we're back here with a new panel of guests. We still have Ozan. He's moved to the end of the couch because that's what the first guest always does.
Yes.
We have 2 new guests. One you've seen before, Jenna Hadley in the middle, and a feature on the podcast. I think you made a cameo in an episode.
Yeah.
Aaron Arney. Hooray. So far the conversation on this week's episode has kind of just been talking about like how we're feeling, you know, like Ozan especially. We just talked about how he's like a different position as us, and like I have just moved basically all my things out. So like, I asked them, well, how would you describe it? You pick either like one word or a phrase to describe how you're feeling about where you're at in the next 12 months.
Oh.
And if your time frame is not the 12 months, you could change it to the next 2 years, next 6 months, whatever you want to do. How are you feeling? How would you best describe what's going through your mind and body?
The feelings I feel are much deeper than I expected them to be.
Yeah. In what way?
It's like I always dreaded this day. I was like, I like knew this day was gonna come, but now that it's here, I'm like, holy fucking shit, this really sucks.
Yeah.
It's like heartbreak, truly. But I'm excited for what's to come next because I don't know what's coming next.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
I really don't know what's gonna happen this summer or in the fall or anytime. I'm just balling.
Yeah. Do you feel prepared for all of that? Because I said like nervously excited because I don't know what's coming, but I know I have like the capabilities in the like I believe that good things will come.
You're prepared enough to like take action.
I think.
Yeah. I've got faith in myself.
Yeah.
So I'm not really stressed.
Is that the George Michael?
Sing it louder, go off, they can hear you.
I don't know the song.
Wow. So how are you feeling? You're in a different position to actually anybody else that's been featured on the podcast so far this week. You're going to grad school.
Yeah.
At Ohio University. What for?
Speech path.
Ooh!
So
yeah, how are you feeling about your immediate next step?
Yeah, I probably have to say optimistic.
Yeah.
Nervous, excited, or nervited, as I say.
Nervited? That's pretty good.
Sums it up. I guess optimistic, just because I'm like literally starting a clean slate. I know no one.
Yeah. You're a freshman again, pretty much.
Yeah, I am basically, but I'm like old, so it's just like weird. But
hey, you're not 22 yet.
That's true. But I'm just. Is my nose ring out? that what you're looking at? Oh, no. But yeah, I have to say optimistic just to see what's coming for the future. I also feel like prepared. It's just I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's good that none of us are like, oh, fuck! Oh, shit! What's gonna happen? Just no idea. Everybody has at least, like, one thing working for them, at least a little bit next.
When you did that, Matthew, I joked so much. Kenzie's watching. She probably got nervous.
Yeah, she was the guest host last week.
Mm-hmm.
The only person, well, Sophia and Steph are the only people that didn't make it on a podcast episode.
Oh, you should Zoom them.
Yeah.
For one of them.
I should have done last week's episode when we were all still here, but...
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, though? Because that was kind of it. I'm just trying to get some thoughts, you know?
It's weird to, like, at least for me to be moving out tomorrow. Like, I'm like, like, I packed up Ethan's car, and I was like, oh, okay, like, cool, I need to pack up my car, but I think when I'm driving tomorrow, I'm going to be like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's the actual changing of a chapter, which is always, like, hard or, like, has different emotions with it, but, like,
Yeah.
it's inevitable.
Yeah.
And it's just weird when you actually go through, the turning of the page or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was like having a moment earlier, and I FaceTimed Ozan and told him to come over, and he made my evening a lot better. Because I was sad about everything.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, rightfully so.
And then Ozan came over, and he brought us special treats, and they were so fucking good.
That's what Ozan's for, I think.
Ozan loves to bake our house, all sorts of goodies, and that is one thing that I will miss, and your friendship.
And your friendship also.
Yes.
First,
the big
yeah,
goods are a
first
little
the
higher
baked
than that.
goods,
Yeah.
then the friendship.
Well, he Snapchatted me to see when we all were leaving.
Turkish Delight! That's how you're a Turkish Delight, sorry.
I was like, what?
Thinking about the like shoot.
No. Just reinforcing the Turkish Delight ideal. You cook things that are all delicious, they're delightful, would you say?
Ah.
You even cooked things for us when some of us had COVID, so.
I did.
Yeah, you survived, never got COVID.
Aaron never got
Hey,
COVID.
same boat.
I got it
Same
twice.
boat.
I was the only one in the house that got it twice.
You get it 3 times?
Once.
Oh.
Yep.
It's been a good ride.
Whole mix of emotions, but ultimately the future is promising, and that is, I think, kind of one of the most important things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm glad we're
And
not
I'm glad-
all like freaking out like you said.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that there's things to remember about too.
Yeah.
True.
Things to look back on. I'm glad that there's things to look back on.
The things that happen will never go away.
No, good and bad, but mostly good.
You add them all together, you get where we're at now.
A melting pot of emotion and love.
Hey.
That is perfect.
Alright.
That's what it takes.
Doctor.
That's what it takes to make a Turkish Delight, baby. Oh yeah.
The turkey's
That's
brewing.
a saying underneath anything that he makes.
You
That's
need,
the logo.
you need business cards too.
I already forgot what it was.
What?
Oh, well.
Melting pot
Well, I
Of emotion and love.
And love.
Yeah.
But you gotta say that.
Love with 5 O's.
Yeah. And a U. A U is
Love.
a
Yeah, it's a French restaurant now.
Emotion and love.
We only sell
Oui, oui.
clams
Oui.
and Turkish Delight. Turkish Delight?
And Turkish
Little Dirk's gonna be the first
That's
person
what is our
that gets
Turkish
sponsored.
Delight.
Little Dirk
What
gets a
about
bite
Turkish
of
Delight and you have like a little turkey? Like he's your first guest.
I'll write that one down. I'll
That's
write
the
that
cue
one
to
down.
end this shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We're all excited for life.
Yeah. Now here's me with the outro.
Boom, 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 boom.
No, that's the intro.
Oh.
So I was realizing the whole time that we had the panel on, you couldn't really, the audio wasn't recording properly, so hopefully it's not a total mess. But we'll fucking see, I guess. Yeah, we'll see, I guess. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of the Procrastinate Podcast. As you could tell, it's kind of just a rounding episode. It was a little bit more like what I wanted last week's episode to be like. Just kind of closing thoughts. It's unfortunately, not so unfortunately, depends how you look at it. It is the closing of a chapter. It is the turning of the page, moving on with life from college. A definitive chapter in our lives, defined typically strictly by 4 years. Sometimes that varies. And a lot of mixed emotions come with that change. Ultimately, as I've expressed in this episode, and they have expressed, that it's a big change, and a lot of emotions come with it, obviously. A lot of things have happened. You've made a lot of friendships, a lot of relationships, a lot of growing, some pain, some love, some agony, whatever feelings you want to mix in there. There's probably a little bit of it all. But ultimately, it comes out all right. It makes a pretty good pie. maybe the life of pi, a little bit, if you will, pie of life, maybe. Yeah, it's interesting, but ultimately it's hard not to be excited about the future because it's what I make it. It's what we make it. We're in the driver's seat and we ultimately decide our destiny of sorts, if you will. So with that, I will end this week's episode of the Procrastinating Podcast. I have been your host, Matthew B. Stein. You have been great, or fantastic. You've been fantastic as always. And I'll see you in next week's episode of the Procrastinating Podcast. Not really sure where it's going to be. May have my brother as a featured guest. Maybe back home. Maybe in Michigan. Who really knows? We'll find out.
New season.
Yeah, pretty much, honestly.
Yeah,
pretty much. It's the start of the rest of my life. See ya.